Yeah, I mean, I think we could kick off, right?
Great. Perfect. So, welcome all. Lovely to see some faces here at the first Discord AMA of AgoraDex. I'm Clef. I'm managing the Discord server and moderating this event tonight. We have some people from the team here, and I will give the word now to you, Richard. You may introduce yourself and also what's all about Agora.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm Richard. I'm the COO of Agora. I've been involved in the project pretty much since the beginning. And as some of you might be aware, this project actually started within Swissborg. Um, Swissborg is a Swiss-based crypto wealth app. So they have sort of 650,000 users in Europe and in a few other places. And yeah, this is kind of where the Agora project started. So I don't know, we have Marjorie on as well, so I guess maybe Marjorie could give an intro if she's able to. I wasn't able to hear her before, but um, or maybe she's not able to because I see that she's not on the stage anyway. So yeah, we'll see if Marjorie joins the stage. If not, I can just kind of give an overview. So yeah, I guess just to give an overview of what Agora is all about. What we're doing is really we're building a GameFi focused DEX ecosystem. And the kind of vision, I guess, really is to, kind of enable really the onboarding of mass market gamers to GameFi. We kind of really see that, the future of the gaming industry is going to be built on the blockchain. And we really kind of believe in the benefits that, some of that kind of brings to gamers in terms of being able to, own the in-game assets and the digital land in the game, and kind of have full control over that, be able to kind of trade it with others, outside the games, and between games, and also of course like a lot of the benefits that the NFTs also give for identity within games and being able to kind of display achievements that you have earned in games in other games and other external platforms, as well as in general, I guess, like the sort of democratization as well of the gaming industry that GameFi brings. So, and where I guess we fit in with that is that, we're looking to build this ecosystem which will just enable the kind of easy trading really of GameFi tokens and NFTs, and doing that also in a way that kind of enables game developers to actually just allow their users to easily kind of trade those tokens directly in the game as well. Um, so yeah, we're looking to kind of partner with kind of quality games and to enable the kind of best games that are really going to bring real gamers to GameFi to participate in GameFi. So I guess that's really at a high level what we're doing. I can give, I guess, like a kind of a bit of an update as well on what we're doing right now and what we're focusing on. At the moment, we have a few initiatives actually. So, I mean, one thing is, we are actually building the decks. So we have, a kind of in-house tech team that are working on that. And we will actually have the first version of the decks ready before the end of the year. But at the same time, we're now actually working on, in a way, it's kind of like an accelerator, sort of partnership slash accelerator initiative, really, where we're looking to kind of bring the best quality games to the Agora community. And we're this can kind of bring a lot of value and benefits to the games in terms of bringing them into our network and our partnership network. That includes Swissborg and Ultra and Xborg and a few others now. And also including some of those games in the tournaments that we're doing as well, that we're now actually doing weekly, where people can kind of join and play with us and actually win prizes as well for kind of participating and winning those tournaments. So this is one of the benefits that we're bringing to games that we bring in. But we're also looking to actually enable our community to invest in the most promising games as well. So as part of this, we're going to be bringing kind of allocations where we can actually enable our community to invest in the games that we bring into our network, and to, not only kind of, I guess, then play the game in the tournaments, but also to actually have some ownership as well in those games. Whether that's, investing in the native token of the game, or investing collectively, in NFTs of the game that kind of give us access to playing the game, and other types of benefits as well. So we've been putting a lot of work into that, and we're actually just kind of finalizing that now. We're already speaking to some really interesting games as well. So you'll soon actually be hearing kind of announcements of those games that we'll be bringing in for that. We are actually also working on our own NFT collection as well, that will kind of have utility in all of the things that we're doing for games and for our community. And yeah, as this is like just in the process of being finalized now within the next week, we're not going to kind of like share anything on that yet, but yeah, there will be more kind of news to come on that as well.
Great.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction of the whole ecosystem. We already have two questions from the community. By the way, for those who are listening, if you have any question, you either can request to speak and speak up and ask your question directly, or you can type it in into the AMA chat, the text channel straight above the stage channel. The first question is from Dadex. He's asking, can you explain more about what are the future plans with Ultra, Swissborg, Xborg? How will the projects be interconnected?
Yeah. So, okay, so I guess, yeah, when it comes to the collaborations that we have with those partners, I can kind of explain a little bit more. So first of all, the first version of the DEX that we're building is actually being built on the Ultra blockchain. So this is actually the first DEX that has been built on Ultra. So I guess, the idea is that with the first version of this DEX, what we're going to do is to really enable those projects that are building on Ultra to actually, of course, enable the exchange of their tokens in a decentralized way. And also to actually kind of bring, some TVL to the Ultra blockchain as well, from other platforms too. So we're, the first version of this DEX, it will actually be possible to bring tokens from other networks too. With the first version, this will actually be done by the use of a cross-chain bridge. So this is, I guess, is kind of, where we're bringing value with Ultra, and where the kind of collaboration is, the main sort of collaborations with them, where that we're building on their technology and kind of helping to, I guess, enable in a way the growth of their ecosystem through, this DEX, which will enable the trading of the tokens of games that are built on the Ultra blockchain. And also, like I said, I think I've mentioned previously as well, we are actually working on our own NFT collection as well. And what we're likely to be doing is actually to have one collection that is actually dedicated to the Ultra community. And those NFTs will actually have utilities that are kind of built into the Ultra ecosystem and to their products. And then the other collection will be more kind of targeted towards, the sort of cross-chain market, I guess. So to other chains, because, whereas like Ultra is like very much, a strategic partner of ours, and, we're very kind of integrated into their community, and, they have kind of, this project really wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for them, right? We are also going to be bringing in games that are kind of on other chains as well. So this is why, we are also creating a kind of separate collection that will be more targeted towards cross-chain. So I guess that kind of explains how it works with Ultra, and I'm happy to answer any more questions on that as well. In terms of our collaboration with Xborg, so I mean, right now the tournaments that we're doing weekly are actually in partnership with Xborg. So Xborg have already done, really well, kind of building that like a super active gaming kind of tournament community. And this is why as well, we are doing that with them. So I would say, right now, in terms of the main kind of collaborations that we have with them, it's more around the tournaments that we're doing. There are definitely some other things that we will kind of have more synergies on in the future once we have actually kind of, launched our decks and this kind of thing, and we will look to kind of integrate in as many ways as we can with what Xborg are building as well. And I think, what they're doing in terms of the technology that they're looking to build to enable people to kind of use, NTSTs as well for, achievements and things like this. I think there are interesting ways that we could potentially have some more collaborations on that in the future. And then I guess, when it comes to Swissborg as well, I guess like the main kind of collaboration that we have with Swissborg really is more around the marketing and community side of things. And yeah, I guess as well because what we're one of the I guess as well, like I said, the main initiatives that we have right now is that we're really kind of focused on this kind of accelerator program that we're putting together for games. And a big part of that is that, the as well, like, we're bringing I guess, like, just to kind of explain in a way, we're bringing, I guess, a lot of value to the games with this program that we're just kind of in the process of launching right now. And all that we actually ask for in return is that they provide us with an allocation that enables our community to actually invest in the tokens of the game and to have like a good deal on that as well. So it's going to kind of be different for each of the different games that we invest in together. Because, some of these games are like more advanced than others. Some of them are maybe still doing their pre-sale or a private sale, and we would maybe offer part of the private sale as an allocation to our community. Whereas others, they, have already kind of maybe raised their seed round and they're kind of building. They maybe already have a better version of their game, and then it would be a little bit different how we invest, and maybe it's more going to be kind of discounted NFTs and things like that. But how I guess this is interesting in terms of how we can extend the collaboration that we have with Swissborg is that, Swissborg obviously are, one of the most successful wealth apps, and they have kind of, yeah, I think it's nearly 1 million users in DeFi who are actually using their app. So yeah, I guess, like, one way that we will be collaborating in the future is to also actually bring these opportunities to invest in quality games to the Swissport community as well. Um, yeah, so I hope that answers the question, and I'm happy to give any more details if anything wasn't clear.
Great. All right. Thank you very much for that. There's two more questions from Jan. Will we be able to test the beta of the decks, and when this Ultra collection will be released, the NFT collection you mentioned before?
Yeah, okay. So you will be able to test the beta version of the decks, and we will actually start organizing how we're going to facilitate, I guess, like the beta testing, and enabling, the members of the Ultra community to do that. That is going to be, I guess, like more towards the end of this year because, like I say, the proof of concept and the kind of first version of that is going to be ready by the end of the year. So it would be, I guess, the better testing, to be kind of realistic, is probably going to be more like the beginning of next year. But we will be starting to kind of organize that as we have the first version ready, more towards the end of this year. And then in terms of the NFT collection that we're doing for the Ultra community, I can't give kind of specifics on a date yet, just because, we are kind of finalizing this and still just in some final discussions with Ultra as well, as to how, when that's going to be. But it will be soon. It's going to be it's very likely that it's going to be before the end of this year. So it's not going to be very long that you would have to wait for that.
Is there already a date when you are going to launch the first product on the market?
Well, so like I say, the first version of the DeX, it will be ready by the end of this year. So in terms of a launch, it's gonna be the first quarter of next year. So there isn't a specific date for that, but it's like I say, we can say that it would be the first quarter of next year. I think the thing is as well, like when you're building this kind of complex product as well, it's not really great to give like a very specific date in terms of a launch, just because there are so many things that can happen and come up, and many bugs that come up that need to be fixed and things like this. So yeah, while we can say that it's going to be like the first quarter of next year, we can't really be specific on an exact date because if we were to do that, then it might change, right?
Yeah, that makes totally sense. If you're building something, it's more valuable if you deliver the finished perfect product instead of having tons of bugs. And I also like the idea of having a beta before with the community members of Ultra and also
Yeah.
our community members.
Yeah, exactly. And then, we can get some real feedback from the community and everything before that, would go kind of live for everyone.
Nice.
Um, yeah.
Jan also is asking, so this next collection will be an OG collection dedicated to Ultra users with specific utility. Is that correct?
Um, yeah, so it's not necessarily specific to any kind of like Discord roles or anything like that, this collection, but like it is actually more just because this collection is going to have like utilities built into it from the Ultra ecosystem and their products. Yeah, it's basically good. That's it's targeted, of course, towards the Ultra community, and also to kind of bring others really as well to the Ultra community who are interested in investing in that as well. So not necessarily only like the existing Ultra community, but hopefully others as well that we can bring.
You mentioned it before, you're going to start first with the DX, probably be
Mm.
ready at the end of the year or next year in the first quarter. What do you guess, or what can you say, if you mind dropping some alpha news, what will be the first stuff you will be able to do on the DEX available in the
Yeah,
beginning?
yeah, sure. So, well, I mean, the main features that we're going to have, right, will be, of course, that you're able to create pools, right? And you're able to also provide liquidity as well. So, people, the core features of a DEX, right? You're able to be a liquidity provider to actually provide liquidity to pools, to actually earn fees for the trading that happens and is facilitated by those pools. And then, of course, the trading as well. So, you're going to be able to trade tokens on the DEX. And then we will also have voting features as well, which will enable people to actually vote as well. So on proposals and things like this, which proposals that are kind of related to fees for the DEX. Um, so yeah, so I guess all of the kind of core features that you really would expect to have on a DEX will be there, and will also, it will be a nice kind of user-friendly interface as well. So it will be, we actually have people working with us who have kind of actually been building in, fintech in Web 2 and things like this. So we're kind of bringing that, I guess, like Web 2 user experience to the products that we're building.
You just mentioned the voting on the DEX. How do
Yeah.
you think will the voting power be? Is it like one vote per wallet, or do you need a specific amount of tokens or a specific amount of trades and NFT? How will that
Yeah.
work on the DEX?
Yeah. So the voting will be done by liquidity providers. So if you're providing liquidity and when you're providing liquidity, you will be holding LP tokens. Then this will enable you to actually vote on proposals for, yeah. setting fees and things like this and changing fees.
So if you have more Apply tokens, so if you're a bigger liquidity holder, do you get more voting power than someone just providing a small amount of liquidity?
Yeah, exactly. So the more liquidity that you're providing, like the more power that you have in terms of voting on the fees.
Okay, nice. Thank you very much for that explanation. We have one more question from Marcus. He's asking, what about airdropping something of the Agora token supply to the export Prometheus NFT holders?
Yeah, to be honest, this is actually and this is an interesting idea. Um, it's not something that we have actually discussed with Xborg, but like to be honest, I think that's a very good idea. So maybe this is something that I will bring up with Xborg, and we can look into that.
Nice. Thank you very much, Marcus, for that question, and Richard for that explanation. Again, community, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the AMA chat or raise your hand to speak up here in Discord. We haven't talked much about the launchpad yet. Is there anything you would like to add to the launchpad, Richard? Like
We
any
can,
information?
yeah. So I can give you kind of like some high level stuff, right? Because like I say, we're still finalizing the strategy for this, and it won't be very long before we're announcing how that's going to work. But what we're looking to do, right, is with this kind of initiative that we have, where it's we're basically looking to bring in the best quality games to our community, and there, like I say, there are different ways that we can, I guess, bring value to the games, and then there are certain ways that they can actually bring value to our community as well. And we're looking to kind of integrate them in as many ways as we can, because I think and as well, this is why actually we're not going to be calling it a launch pad, right? We actually, this I guess maybe causes some confusion, but because when it comes to launch pads, how it basically works is, games come that want to kind of raise funding. There is maybe some kind of marketing done to actually, bring people to actually invest in this launch pad and to invest in, the public sale of the token for the game. And then the public, the sale happens. The game receives some funding. The community is able to invest, and then basically the game leaves really, and it's kind of not really a kind of long-term relationship that constantly kind of brings value and brings communities together. So that's why the way that we're doing this is not really so much like a launch pad, but in a way, it's kind of more of a partnership program where we're able to actually bring in games that are kind of at different stages because of everything that we're offering, right? It's actually relevant for games at all sort of stages. Because we're not only just raising funding from the community for them, but we're also introducing them to our kind of partner network. We're also including them in the tournaments that we're doing, enabling them to get feedback on their games from the community, and then also doing the fundraising as well, where we actually enable the community to invest in the game too. But that's actually just like one kind of small part of it, right? The idea is that we bring the game into our community, their community, kind of we share our communities then, like the communities come together because we're actually collaborating together in a number of different ways. And because as well, we will be bringing games that are at different stages. Some of them are a bit more advanced, some of them are not as advanced yet. They're all going to be at different stages in their kind of funding cycle and everything. So some of them, like I said, will be privates in doing a private sale. Some of them will be doing a seed round, even maybe. Some of them might be doing a public sale, which means that it's not necessarily like really a launch pad. it's more of when it comes to the fundraising aspect of what we're going to be doing with games. It's more of a kind of community investment, a general kind of community investment platform. Because yeah, like you're actually getting the opportunity to invest in games that are at different stages, and we're able to bring, allocations to the community based on all of this, the rest of this value that we can bring to the game. So because we're not only just raising funding for the game, yeah, it's not like a kind of typical launch pad really. So I hope that explains a bit more. And obviously there will be much more details and information that will be kind of released. We will put like a page on the website and everything as well that will make things clearer for everyone, to understand as well once all of that is finalized in the next few weeks.
In a case of voting, as you said before, for the LP holders, isn't there a danger that the big holders could control the voting power then and do harmful things to the project?
Well, the thing is, it's kind of people are able to vote on things that are kind of relevant for them, really, right? So it's like, yeah, I think it's as well important to consider that it's, you have to kind of think about, what you allow people to vote on, making sure that it's kind of, relevant to them, and that so that, we're not for example, going to let people who have a lot of power as an LP to then vote on things that would affect, say, the investments that we make in games as a community, right? Because then that wouldn't really make sense and it wouldn't be fair, and then it could potentially be damaging. So yeah, I guess that's why we would just be kind of limiting people to actually vote on things that are specific to, that what it is that they're enabling. And I guess if somebody is providing, significant liquidity to enable the trading of tokens on the DEX, then it probably makes sense for them to be able to have a bit more influence on, you know, what the fees would be, really. Um, and the other thing is as well is that, people will actually be able to also vote by staking the AGA token once the AGA token is released. So it's not necessarily only going to be people who are, um, providing liquidity, but also people who are holding the AGA token that will be able to participate in governance in the future. So yeah.
If I check the roadmap on my other screen, there are like four phases right now in the deck.
Yeah.
Phase one and phase two are in Q2 and Q3 of this year.
Mhm.
Are we on track with those and are we ready for the next phase?
Yeah, I would say we are. We're on track with those, and right now as well, we're kind of, I guess, in the process of accelerating really the development of our own community. And that this as well is why we are, doing these other initiatives that are not necessarily related to the DEX. Because we see that we can't just only be building a DEX that is not necessarily bringing any value to anyone right now and takes time. And we want to make sure that we can, um, still kind of like build our community as we build our products.
Mhm.
And also, I guess, like bring value to the community as well and bring value to other players in the ecosystem, like the games, which is why we're doing this initiative with, the games that we're going to be bringing in, involving in the tournaments, and yeah, enabling the community to invest in as well. But yeah, like this is on track, and like like I say, we're on track with the development of the products that we have, you know, included on the roadmap right now. And we have also been bringing in more people to actually help when it comes to the marketing and community side of things as well. So the team has actually been kind of growing in terms of community and marketing, which yeah is I guess going to help us quite a lot for like the final quarter of the year now, where we're really sort of pushing to grow the community and bring more value to it right now.
Nice. So team is growing.
Yeah.
Roadmap is on track. What else do we need? That's all we would like to see. Perfect.
hmm Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, I guess it's good news, really. And yeah, we're just going to keep working hard to achieve those goals that we have for the rest of this year, which is mainly to kind of accelerate the growth of the community, and also to finish the first version of the decks as well. Um, so yeah.
Very nice. Also, Alex, thank you. It's always nice to see that the community will try to push on their own Twitter and also in other communities. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else we missed tonight? Is there anything you would like to add before we finish the AMA for tonight, Richard?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think we covered like pretty much everything really, but I think as well, I understand as well that in the last kind of month or two, we have been kind of working a little bit under the radar in terms of these initiatives that we have to kind of accelerate our own community and to also help, I guess, other communities and bring more value to our own community really. But we're coming to a point now where we're kind of really finalizing that, and all of that is going to be made more public and start to kind of be executed on as well. So I would say, we're really at a time now where this community is likely to grow quite rapidly, I would say. And I would say that, probably over that, when as we do more AMAs and Twitter Spaces and things like this, I would expect that we're probably going to be seeing more people joining as those things become clearer to everyone, and they are able to actually see the value that they can get from being part of our community, right?
Great. Day by day growing, day by day working, day by day building. That's
Yeah.
nice.
hmm
Perfect. So thank you very much for listening to the AMA for tonight. If you have more questions, feel free to use the chat, use Discord, ask in Twitter, wherever your social media is, whatever you're using. We will try to answer any questions you have also outside of this AMA. Thank you very much, Richard, for your time, for being here tonight and answering some community questions.
No, I mean, thanks a lot for facilitating, Clef. Really appreciate that. And yeah, to you guys who joined, thanks for joining and thanks for listening.
Thank you very much and have a great night.
Have a good night, guys. Bye.